Coming up on Smart Tech today, Matthew Cassinelli and I take a look back at the Super Bowl. Well, not the big game, but instead at some of the ads and talk about the smart tech that's made its way into the commercials. Smart Tech today is brought to you from LastPass Studios. You're focused on security, but are your employees? LastPass can ensure that they are by making access and authentication seamless. Visit lastpass.com/twit to learn more.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This episode of Smart Tech Today is brought to you by IT Pro TV. Get the most up-to-date IT training with IT Pro TV. Their video courses, virtual labs, and practice tests will give you everything you need to become a successful IT professional. Visit itpro.tv/smart for an additional 30% off for the lifetime of your active subscription. Use code SMART30 at checkout. Welcome back to Smart Tech Today. This, of course, is the podcast, the show, the very great place where we talk about all things smart. And, of course, that includes everything confusing, dynamic, and exciting in this world. I don't remember the intro of the show that we do every week, but I think I'm Mikah Sargent. And who are you out there?
I'm pretty sure I'm Matthew Cassinelli.
At least this week.
Yeah.
Good. How you doing,
This
pal?
personality made it out this time. I'm doing well. How about you?
Oh my goodness. Burke, can you do me a big favor? At my desk on top of Jimmy the Twerking Bear is a hat that I need to be wearing during this show, and I completely forgot. So I'm doing exceptionally well, and I'll tell you why here in a moment. But we're just going to have to hang out for a second because this is very important to me. So I'm sorry, folks, but we'll just...
Gotta get the hat.
Gotta get the hat.
If you're tuning in live, say hi in one of the chats.
Yes. I think that we have that chat here and there. Ooh, here it comes.
Here comes the hat.
Here comes the hat. Oh, he's going to put it on even. I'm doing exceptionally well because, for folks who don't know, I came from St. Joseph, Missouri, which is just north of Kansas City, Missouri, which is where the Chiefs are from. And they just won the Super Bowl, so I'm going to Disney World.
Nice. Congratulations. I was like, oh, I wish it was relevant to me. And I just remember that I live in the Bay Area. And
it is relevant to you.
Clearly, I was not super into the game because I forgot we were even in it. So.
Yeah, you were in it. So I'm guessing that means you did not watch the Super Bowl.
I did not. I was working on a video.
Okay. Was your video about football?
It's about a calendar app.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Fantasticality version.
Pretty awesome. Yep. I have a overly long and overdue video about Fantastical coming, but I'm super excited to make it because I did a whole little process change thing, and I think it's going to turn out really well.
Is there not a slight bit of irony about being overdue on a calendar app?
Maybe. I was testing out the features, and I just got all distracted setting it. It was an example that it was earlier, and then I forgot. No, it's definitely true. It's, to be fair, videos take quite a long time. I wrote the whole blog post and then decided to make it into a video. So, because I was already late. So,
gotcha.
It's working out. But yeah.
Well, speaking of the Super Bowl and not calendars, I thought, or you thought, I don't know why I said I thought, you thought it would be a good idea to kick off the show talking about some of the smart tech stuff we saw during the big game, as it were. So I did watch in real time the ads that came by, but I happened to see somehow, I'm not sure how, I saw the ALEXA ad before the Super Bowl aired, but the rest of them I didn't see until the day of. But I really thought that the ALEXA ad, which was Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Ross, they are partners, and they were touchdown. Nice. I love that transition. Folks, if you're not watching the show, if you're listening, there was just an excellent transition that we did, a sports ball transition. But essentially, they are leaving the house to go somewhere, and they use Amazon's smart assistant to control the stuff in their home. And they kind of had this moment of, I wonder what people did before this technology existed. So it's hilarious as they go back in time and they have different people whose names are a little bit like Alexa. My favorite one personally is the one that kicks things off, which is basically, I want to lower the temperature in here a few degrees. And so the housemaid takes one of the logs from the fire and chucks it out the window. Hilarious. But it goes through a bunch of different people, including someone who's playing one of those bottles that you like blow into.
Oh yeah, that was good.
So what did you think of it? Funny? Bad?
Yeah, it was good. It got me. I mean, it doesn't have the same, it is interesting watching those out of the like viewing environment because it is a very like captivating audience, which the Google one we'll talk about in a minute definitely got me there. But also, our buddy Jeff Bezos tweeted this out. I think that's why you saw it.
That's probably why, yeah, because his phone is hacked, and so it's all over the web. And I knew he was going to be tweeting this out. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, he tweeted. I thought it was
I thought it was a clever video, though. I liked all the variations on the names because that was good, and just like I don't know, all the references to like what they used to do and stuff like that. The one where she like puts a message on a bird and then it flies out, gets eaten by an eagle, and then the eagle gets eaten by a dragon. And she's like, dang it, like just can't get your messages anywhere. But I don't know. I thought it was funny. I like the end too, where it starts like Ellen gets back in the car and uses the Amazon Echo she's like, play my favorite song.
Which
and it plays
that is the most,
somebody like
Go ahead.
It plays somebody like blowing on the little pipe thing and then it turns into like the Little John song. So it's like do, 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 do. So that was pretty funny.
I thought that was funny. I liked that there was a full circle kind of moment, but it was entirely unbelievable that anyone ever would use the Echo Auto. That's the one thing that's not believable. That device
my friend Ricky has it. He says he likes it.
I don't get it. You already have a phone that has a smart assistant on it. Why do you need...
But you can't like trigger it hands-free. So
yes, I can.
You're encouraging people to use their phones while they're driving.
I can trigger it hands-free. If I say, hey, boo-boo, it triggers.
With Amazon Echo also?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to use Echo in the car when I've already got something on my phone.
I think my friend is like all in on Echo, but he has an iPhone too. So I think it's just like the best way. If you're into that,
if you're all in on Echo, you've got everything set up on Echo. And that's kind of what I said in my review of the Echo Auto, but I don't know. That part I was like, okay, I don't think you're actually using that in your vehicle.
Yeah.
But the rest of it was pretty funny. And it is, it's one device that I think a lot of people use for sure. And showing all those different ways that you can use it.
The auto is less interesting than just, it is true that like a lot of stuff, I mean, I think it just kind of is like a commercial for smartphones and smart technology more than just theirs. Like send a message. It's like, I feel like a lot of people probably send messages with their phone and like dictate there. So
if I could send messages with a bird, I would, but not
carrier pigeons. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the word. I forgot that earlier. Okay.
Oh, you're trying to remember what bird sends messages? Yeah. That's a good trivia question. Maybe not.
So Google's also this one. You were telling me about it, and you were like, I mean, because the headlines that I saw were that like Google has another ad that normalizes like everybody listening into your house and stuff like that, which is a fairly cynical take. I will also. It's like I get that. That's probably fair, but theirs was this whole. Like heart-wrenching story of Loretta, where it's an old man who can't remember his wife who's passed, and so he's like asking it to remember these details, like remember that she hated my mustache and stuff. And it totally is like, I went from the beginning having those cynical articles in mind, and then by the end I'm like, like, dang it, it totally got me.
That one's a tough one. Thinking about sort of the ins and outs, because I agree and I understand the criticism for sure, but when we look at something that is as, or can be as debilitating as types of dementia, and you have a person who's wanting to remember things, and they're using this as a tool along with other things to help them remember, I don't think there's anything wrong with that on the face of it.
Yeah,
and it just becomes, I feel like it sort of fits into that same box at some point of criticizing something because it doesn't work for us or doesn't make sense for us. That may be the case, but if it provides quality of life for someone else, should we automatically poo-poo it and automatically say that shouldn't exist? And so that's kind of where I came from with that. I get it at the same time because it can feel a little dystopian, sort of like you said, or like the article said, normalizing this technology and it knowing so much about us. But this is not, I don't think that it precisely fits into the box of the way that other things do, where the criticism makes sense, like knowing our habits and things like that, versus this where it's, I want to remember things about a person and this is the tool that I want to use to do that. And maybe even, quiz myself, whatever this person ends up wanting to do to remember Loretta using this technology. I think I found it kind of empowering, honestly. Especially because they start out with the person doing a Google search for how to not forget, and they learn the process for, this is what you need to do to help yourself not forget. And then, this is a one device, or one system rather. I wouldn't call it a device because it's talking about the Google Assistant, but one system that in many different ways is helping this person remember their loved one. So I think that's something that we need to be clear about too, is it's not just like the Google Home. It's, I can use the Google Assistant to see the photos of this person, to have these memories come up, et cetera, et cetera. And so, I don't know. This was a feel-good ad to me. I understand the criticisms, and I honestly, when the ad first started, I was like, a little bit skeptical and was sort of casting some side eye. But by the end of it, then I think that I tweeted out something along the lines of like, okay, we'll order some tissues. By the way, sorry, I did not mean to do that to everybody who has a Google device.
Mine didn't go off.
Kevin, 1126, sorry. Anyway, I know I've lost it.
I think that's totally fair. Like, I think it's when you read the tweet about the headline about the video, you can easily take the cynical take, but actually watching it, and I mean, I think it speaks to like how this stuff can, just technology in general can be beneficial, and it's a little nicer to not be like, go down the like, I'm associating this with the brand, even in the same way with the Echo commercial. It's just like, this stuff does have very powerful uses, and I think the important thing with this one is like, he doesn't have to ask someone else, what was this like? And like, a human can get frustrated trying to repeat back just basic facts and stuff like that, and just having him being able to interact with his Google Home whenever is nice. I love the part where it's like, the first one he remembered was her telling him, or the first thing he added to it was that she told him that he should get out of the house more. And then just like, I don't know, it was definitely, Google's had a history of the, like, what was it? I think it was just called Hey Google, the original one, where the like dad sends the Gmail messages to his son as he's born, and then it's like over the years until he's a kid.
Yeah,
that one's a little more like, do you want to use Gmail? Like,
that's that honestly, I appreciate that one because it's so accurate. That's such a dad thing, sending emails forward
yeah, fair.
From
especially
dad.
Of the time.
Yeah. So
it's like, I use smart assistants to set reminders for myself all day long. It's not like the actual act of doing that is a problem itself. I think it is just like, go buy a Google Home now is like, I wish there was a way that you could just do this with it and it didn't have to be so tied to a product.
Well, Verizon tried to be clever with that during the Super Bowl by showing an advertisement for its 5G wireless network that's coming out, and the way they did it was, 5G. There are going to be a lot of messages out this year about how 5G is going to help these firefighters get in touch with each other much easier, and help the police do this, and help this person save this person's life. But this is not an ad for that. 5G won't help a firefighter be the first to climb into a building. It won't help this person be the best they can be. It won't help this do this, this, and this. It won't help this do this. And then it was like, 5G can help in these ways, but it's a good thing that it doesn't have to help with all of these human qualities. And then Verizon. Wow. And I'm like, that is so, you're just saying it's not the thing, and that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Nice try, Verizon.
My past working in a marketing agency, I think, makes me a little less willing to accept some of the stuff, but that's just me being broken.
That's just me being broken, and that's the title, folks.
And there we go.
Let's go ahead and move on from the Super Bowl to talk about how the Amazon Echo Show is getting Amazon Wand functionality. I think it was called the Echo Wand. That was this weird little device that you could, the Echo Dash Wand, the Amazon Dash Wand was this little remote looking device that you could use to scan items in, your fridge or wherever, and then it would add it to your grocery shopping list. So you could remember to get those groceries. I think Leo Laporte still has one. But now they've essentially added this technology to the Amazon Echo Show.
Yeah. Seems pretty. I think you just hold up a barcode to the screen and it'll scan it for you, which seems like much better use than a completely dedicated product that is like a little magic wand that you have to buy separately and keep somewhere in your house. It's just like when you're like, oh, I'm out of this, just walk over and hold it up. I think they were saying, oh no, they were talking about the voice part. That's right. They were saying if it doesn't find it, you can still just use your voice, but I have a feeling that doesn't work as nicely.
Yeah, this
maybe
is,
read out the code or something. Like
UPC 57639.
Yeah, exactly.
This is so you can sort of get the exact same thing again. Because what happens when you say, "Hey, boo boo, add Cheerios to my list," and then it adds Honey Nut Cheerios to your list instead of normal Cheerios, or maybe you want the berry Cheerios, or you want the ones that right now they've got the limited edition ones where some of the Cheerios are shaped like hearts.
Clearly this is on your mind.
Might be on my mind. But something else is on my mind. I'm so glad you brought up groceries and Amazon, because how else would I get to complain about something that just happened to me? The world of smart shopping has let me down, Matthew. So for the longest time, I guess I should say, since I've lived here in Petaluma, I have been using, because I'm a Prime subscriber, so I want to use as many of those features as I can. And one of those features is Amazon Prime Now. It's not the Amazon Prime Now that you have in some of the bigger cities where it will do same-day delivery of Amazon items, but it is same-day delivery of groceries from Whole Foods. And so I've used that. That means my car gets out less. I am not using bags and stuff like that. I've got a bunch of reasons if someone comes at me for like, why are you doing this? There are reasons.
You're pre-justifying it.
Yes, I'm pre-justifying. So, anyway, I use the grocery delivery service, Amazon Prime Now, or at least I did. Mm-hmm. So,
did they cancel on you, or do they not support your area?
I'm gonna get there.
Oh man!
So they do support the area. I've been using it for the longest time, like I said, and I would get my groceries, and there's a little note in there that's like, hey, please don't ring the doorbell because it's going to set off the dogs. So if you just leave them at my doorstep, I'll see the notification. I'll come and get them. And that has worked every time. I've ordered like lots of groceries. Always give a good tip. I've never had any issues. Sometimes I've ordered alcohol from there. I go out, I show my ID. They're like, good. I get my stuff. I go inside. I've done this like 10 times at this point. No problem.
Yeah.
So I am going to get my groceries for the week, and I could tell you're anxious to
I
hear
know.
what
I'm
we're
like, what's happening?
I go to order my groceries, and I put in the biggest order that I ever have, like $250 worth of groceries. And I get the notification that the groceries have been packed. Nothing had to be changed, which means they had everything in stock. And then I get the notification that my groceries are on their way. And so then I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm talking to my partner, and I get the notification at that moment, hey, your groceries have been delivered. So I'm like, okay, hold on. I interrupted him and went downstairs and opened the door, and there were no groceries on my doorstep.
There's nothing there? Oh, no.
And so I said, that doesn't make sense. So I went back upstairs, got my phone, read it again. Yeah, it says your groceries were delivered. And I had some stuff that was perishable. They keep it in like a sort of a wool bag they put it inside of. It's some sort of fiber that's recyclable. And so obviously I wanted to get them quickly. So I thought, okay, maybe this is a new driver. So they delivered them to the office instead of my actual place. So I look at the neighboring doors, and there are no groceries there. And I walk to the office, and no groceries there. And I come back, and I immediately contact support. And I'm like, hey, this says they were delivered. I didn't let any time go by. Like, no one would have had the chance. I ordered like 4 cases of sparkling water. So no one would have had an opportunity to go off with my groceries in that short period of time whenever I interrupted my partner to get them. So I had to contact Amazon support, and they were like, looks like the person delivered them to the wrong address. And so we will give you your money back. But because it was a larger order of like $250 some, they couldn't do it right away. It was going to take 3 to 5 business days. And so I had this moment where I was thinking, I am just like to check my privilege here. I am okay waiting on that money. And that's fine. But what about a person, I was thinking about, what about a person who lives in this area who would not be okay with that money? Yeah, that's not okay.
Because you have to get more groceries.
So. You have to get more groceries. Exactly. I'm honestly like, at this point, I'm still upset about it. And so I'm sort of protesting for some stupid reason. So there's still no groceries in my house from over the weekend whenever I didn't get my groceries.
I'm just not eating anymore.
I'm never getting groceries ever again. That is exactly how I was feeling afterward. And so, like, okay, well, I guess food's gone now. Not doing that anymore. But yeah, I was thinking someone gets for Christmas or for their birthday Amazon gift cards, and they use it to get a big thing of groceries, and then they have to wait 3 to 5 business days to get their money back to be able to place it. That's horrible. So anyway, I'm kind of annoyed, and I don't think that I'll be using Prime Now groceries anymore because I don't want to have to deal with this again. So my barcodes are not getting scanned is what that goes back to.
Somebody in your apartment complex just got a bunch of free LaCroix.
They got a bunch of...
or maybe not.
I was going to say it's just, what's it called? Everyday 365. It's the Whole Foods brand because it's the only other sparkling water I know of besides LaCroix that does not have any sodium in it. And it's less expensive than LaCroix. They also got a bunch of Beyond Meat because there was a big... That was the one thing I was upset about was I ordered like 3 Beyond... like cartons of Beyond Burgers, and I really like them, and they were on sale, and I wanted them, and I didn't get them.
And now they're not. Yeah.
Cheap. And I keep having these things happen where it's like I think of a thing that I would like to make or have, and I'm like, well, it was in that grocery item. So yeah, I'm just trying to get over that.
Dang you, Amazon!
Yeah. So I don't know how to feel about it. Oh, and here's the other thing. The same day this happened, guess what else I got charged for?
What? Like Prime Video or something?
My Prime account. My Prime account was renewed on the day that this happened. And I thought, I am angry.
Too late. Yeah, you already resubscribed.
Yeah. I mean, and I like Prime for the other stuff, so I'm going to keep it. But yeah, I don't think I'll be doing Prime Now anymore. And that is my story. Thanks, everyone, for listening. It is vaguely related to smart tech.
I totally just imagined you when you first started that. It's like, yeah, I've got a Prime subscription. It's pretty exclusive. Like, or Arrested Development. It's like, to the guy who ordered $250 of groceries. Are you kidding me?
So moving on to the next thing, the Google Assistant. And you and I both were like, I remember this being a thing that already happened.
Yeah.
But apparently, this is new. The Google Assistant. I wanted this to already be a thing, I guess, was for the Google Assistant.
I feel like
to
we
work with
mentioned
Tile.
when they announced it, and then now it's rolling out, so you can use Tiles with Google Assistant.
So now you can
nice.
trigger your Tiles with your Google Assistant. Yeah, which is quite nice. So I can say, hey, boo-boo, where are my keys? And the Tile tracker on my keys will beep at me and let me know. Probably with those groceries at somebody else's house is where my keys are. I'm not salty about it, but this is a great feature. Anywhere where I can say, regardless of where I happen to be, what if I lose my phone and my keys at the same time? Then I can't trigger the Tile tracker because I don't have my phone to launch it on the app. So to be able to have this stationary device like an Echo, or in this case a Google Home of some sort, to be able to say, hey, I once again can't find my keys, so can you help me with that? It's good.
And I think it has like it says like near the kitchen speaker, which I thought is kind of cool. Like it can give you, because it itself is a stationary device, it can kind of give you an association around that. And also, I guess we should mention that there has been like a lot of rumors. I don't like to talk too much about Apple product rumors, but there has been hints that Apple's going to do a similar tag type of system thing. So that's pretty interesting. But one thing you can do is you can ask a HomePod to where your phone is. And that's always nice, because just like on the Apple Watch, you can ping your phone and have it like make a noise when you can't find it. You can use something like a HomePod, and then when your phone can make a noise from like the recesses of the couch down there or something like that, which is pretty handy.
Yeah, I think that'll be great whenever we finally see that technology, if we finally see that technology.
Yeah.
So this is something that we kind of were joking about. I come from, as I mentioned, Missouri, not Kansas.
Not Kansas?
No, not Kansas. Thank you. Oh, don't get me started. Oh, man. Every Missourian was like, we hate Kansas. How could you say this? God, Kansas. Ugh. Anyway, so I come from Missouri, where we did not yet have the rollout of the redesign of Apple Maps. So there was that offered the normal functionality of, getting navigational directions, but Apple had announced that they were going to add new features, including showing you where stop signs were, showing you where signals were, showing you, for example, I could have Siri say, take a right next to the Wendy's and your destination is just past the blah, blah, blah. That was not a possibility when I was in Missouri. I moved out here, and Petaluma at first, when I very first got here, did not have it, but then it did roll out with all of those things. And so now you and I are spoiled with our Apple Maps redesign, but it's finally...
California privilege. Yeah.
Yes, our California privilege. It was funny, someone was saying... go back to Silicon Valley to the San Franciscans, the 49ers. And I'm like, you don't quite, yeah. They were from Missouri.
None of those are even related anymore, practically.
Yeah, it was a funny moment. So that feature is finally coming to all of Apple Maps, which is nice. I mean, there are many different things, and I like this article that you've included, we'll include in the show notes, from Lifehacker, that actually goes into the best new features that you should try with it.
Mm-hmm. I've set up a bunch of collections around the East Bay and stuff like that. And then what's nice is it'll show you pins on the map as you look for stuff. So, I mean, it's something that Google has always kind of done, but I think the way they're doing it, Apple's design aesthetic is always very nice. And it's turn right after the next stop sign and stuff like that. That can be handy, especially just when you're in a new area or something like that. But yeah, it's I didn't even realize this wasn't in the whole US, because I've just been using it since it rolled out. But yeah, their what's it called? Is it Look View?
Look around.
Look around. That's right. It's Street View is Google's, but Look Around is like Apple's version. That they've done some pretty advanced mapping software in there, and I think I don't remember how much of it is AR, but it will basically like you can turn and look at the buildings digitally, and then when you like click to move down the street, it has a really natural way of moving that I do like. Again, Google has always had Street View. That's long been their main thing, and they started years and years before Apple, but I think Apple's like pretty competitive with them now.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have Look Around here where I am currently, but it is a neat feature.
That is more limited. That's fair.
Now,
but it's like really nice when you're going. I think I used it when I went to Vegas because I was just like trying to get a spatial orientation of like where and what I was doing that week. Because I feel like that's always like the hardest is, I mean, I always need to go up high somewhere. Like I studied abroad in Florence, and I really regretted not going to the top of like the Duomo until like the last month, and then I was like, oh, this city makes so much more sense now. Like, damn it.
Yeah, that was the benefit in San Francisco of going to Quate Tower, where you get that 360-degree view of San Francisco. San Jose, most of San Jose, if not all of San Jose, has look-around functionality, and so I had to go there, and I used Look Around to make sure I knew where I was going. And yeah, it's quite handy. But I love this feature. I didn't even know existed until I read this article. In the bottom right-hand corner, you have a current temperature and the air quality index for wherever you are. And if you hold down on that, you get a little forecast of the next few hours. So you can get sort of oh boy, if I'm going to be in San Jose, do I need to have an umbrella? I think that's quite nice.
No, the answer is no. It's always something.
This is true. The answer is this is California. I'm going to be in Washington later this week, and so yes, I will need an umbrella.
Well, the directions there are pretty good, but apparently if you're using Google Maps, somebody might be messing with your turn-by-turn directions.
Bum, bum, bum.
Although it could just be a stunt, because this is artist Simon Weckert brought around a little wagon with 99 smartphones open to Google Maps on them, and supposedly like creates his own traffic jam in Google Maps just by walking around with this. Which it's kind of like
I don't understand what the commentary here is, but it's an interesting idea that makes sense. If you have technology that is used to provide GPS locations for wherever you are, and you have multiple devices open, making Google Maps think that there are multiple cars on the road, then of course it's going to turn red on the map and look like there is a lot of traffic along this stretch of byway.
Yeah, like one of the Google Maps engineering managers basically said it is possible. Like, I think there's been some doubt where like people are like, he doesn't ever show you up close the wagon, and it almost looks like they're like perfectly framed screens on the phone, so like he could have photoshopped it in there. Also, his description is that he's seeking to assess the value of technology, not in terms of actual utility, but from the perspective of future generations, to raise awareness of the privileged state in which people live in the Western civilization and remind them of the obligations attached to this privilege.
What does that have to do with what he's doing? A little red wagon with 99 phones in it? What about your
That sounds
privilege?
like one of those things where you come up with the idea and then you write the reason afterwards.
Yes.
And it sounds good.
Yes. Yes. I've already got my stinking essay written. Yes. Got it.
I have seen, there's like definitely a common thing where Google Maps will be like, hey, you should go down this street. And then suddenly 10 cars get off the freeway and go down that street, and now it's no longer a faster route because everybody took it. Like, there's literally times, especially on like a long road trip that my girlfriend and I did, we could tell, we were like, this is the Apple Maps lane, because suddenly like only certain types of cars are like getting off and taking this one route. So that can definitely, like, I've seen people who are like, this is a major problem in certain cities because it will send hundreds of people down there and then everybody's gridlocked. So
yeah, and see, to me, all that this is like confirmation to the Google Maps engineers that the feature works as expected.
Yeah,
that's what it's
like. If you want to,
it's doing what it's supposed to do.
I don't know. It's fascinating. Like, I don't want to like get too much into this, but there's like a bunch of protests around the world in recent months in like China and stuff like that. And I did just imagine people intentionally like, it's kind of like cyberpunk where you're just like one person can totally just mess with this algorithm that affects everybody and in a very like low budget. It's just like the wagon part is pretty silly, but I don't know. It's fascinating. It's like if you want to, I'm trying to think of how you could use this to your advantage, but
yeah.
Like my street always gets tons of cars that try to come down and like cut through and then just have a ton of Android phones on. And they're like, oh no.
Just bury them underneath the sidewalks, but somehow you can solar panel keep them charged. Yeah, we'll think of something. But we're going to take a quick break so I can tell you folks about IT Pro TV. As a busy working professional, it can be difficult to learn new skills or make a career change. IT Pro TV has made learning IT and finishing IT certifications possible. Students are able to learn quickly and at their own pace when their time allows it. IT Pro TV offers binge-worthy learning for IT professionals and always keeps their content fresh as the IT world is constantly changing. It's in their core values to have content that is current, relevant, and up-to-date. They are continuously filming out 6 high-def studios, providing you with training for what's in the IT field today. You're going to get the latest exam objectives, new certifications, updated software releases, redesigned interfaces, and so much more. Plus, another awesome feature is that free members can watch the daily stream at no cost. Watch as it's created. There are over 4,000 hours of IT training that they offer, and they are the official video training partner for CompTIA and have 12 CompTIA on-demand courses, including CompTIA A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus certs. See how IT Pro TV can make it easy for you to grow your career. You just go to itpro.tv/smart, that's our special code there, and use the code SMART30 to receive 30% off. That's itpro.tv/smart and use the code SMART30 for an additional 30% off for the lifetime of your active subscription. IT Pro TV, build or expand your IT career and enjoy the journey. Thanks so much to IT Pro TV for sponsoring this week's episode of Smart Tech Today. All right, I want to use this service that Google has announced, but I'm a little nervous about saying I want to use it because I'm a little nervous about people telling me that I'm wasting paper, but I think this is so cool. Google is testing an automatic monthly photo prints subscription service. Tell me more about this. What can I get? How can I use it? What do I do?
It seems like it's based off of Google Photos, and basically they will send you 10 prints automatically selected from the last month for $8 a month, and then they'll just ship them to you, and they have like a little white border around them and everything, so they look all nice. But you can select from either like more people and pets, or just landscapes, or what they call a little bit of everything. Classic Google naming system. But then, it just shows up at your doorstep and you have free prints, which seems like, how does this not exist before? But I think the biggest thing is always like, what photos do you want to print? Most people probably aren't going to take the time to curate them. Or there's been stuff like this before, but I think it's always like business models and stuff like that. As a side note, I saw that YouTube makes Google $15 billion a year. So I think they have enough money for this, which is good.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the first time they've ever announced how much money it actually makes in ad revenue. But yeah, this is awesome. Like, I am probably going to use this because I think I talked a couple times on the show about the Nest Hub, as it's now called. But I really like the Google's automatic selection of photos. It's basically like what I would do myself, but I don't have to. Perfect use of technology, in my opinion.
Amen.
I mean, now that's like what Apple Photos Memories does, but
not as well.
Not as well, not as automatic, and I think it's like it's not showing up at my doorstep already printed. So this seems pretty awesome.
I think this is great. So I love the idea, and I will note you did say shows up at your door, or you said that they were free prints that show up at your door. It is an $8 subscription service, just so folks know, and also so we don't get emails about it. So it's nice that for $8 a month, I love the idea of just having this happen hands-free. This is not something you do have the option to go in and make adjustments if you want to choose photos, but I don't want to think about it, honestly. I want to be kind of surprised. I will say the one thing I'm concerned about with this is that I take a lot of screenshots, and and sometimes I've got photos in my library that are background wallpapers or are, I don't know, weird memes and things like that. So I hope that the app will be smart enough to know, or the service will be smart enough to know when the photos are coming from me versus when they are existing independently.
Yeah.
Independently.
I think it generally, because I have my stuff uploaded to Google Photos, and I will occasionally see some of those on my display, but it's not usually a problem. Like, it's not like, here's 10 screenshots from the last day. It's a little bit smarter than that, which is nice. They have all their years and years of image recognition training and all that. But yeah, it would be pretty disappointing to, like, even if one slips through the cracks, it's like you should get a credit or something for the next month.
Yeah.
But
just because
I do feel bad for all the services that do something similar like this, because they're probably all like, crud. Like, Google's going to just destroy them, probably.
Yeah. The more that it happens, the more that it would happen, the more that I would feel like I needed to go in and adjust every time.
Yeah.
And I don't want
I think
that.
if you train it, it should get better. Oh, no, I just made myself sad because I just imagined the old guy getting photos of Loretta every month. And it's like...
That's so sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I instantly just got... Oh, let me wipe my eyes a little bit.
Who's cutting onions in here?
That is good, especially like...
Kevin, we talked about this onion eating thing in the office, in the studio.
Especially just showing up to your doorstep when you weren't expecting it. Oh, man, that's good.
Yeah.
Dang it, they got me again.
See, it would be so fun. I went to my photos.google.com account, and they said you'd have that pop up on your main page if you were selected as part of the trial, and I, alas, am not. So
I'm gonna have to maybe I'll try to get my nephew. Oh man, this already is like instantly hooking me. I'm like, how should I use Google Photos more? Like,
yeah, exactly.
They gotta,
but this is the kind of thing I get so kind of not bored and not sad. Sad maybe is the right word. I first of all, I'm really bad at remembering to take photos. I don't take a lot of photos, and I wish that I was better about that, because there are memories that I want to have and to hold till death do we part. And then they'll go on without me because they exist on a digital device even long after I'm gone. And I can't, I always often forget to do that. But I think that if I had more physical prints, I would be more driven to do so, because cool, it's great that I have these things on my phone and I can like swipe through them. But how often am I swiping through them? I'm not. I want to be able to actually physically have them in my home where I'm looking at them, or I don't know, at my desk and things like that. So this...
Or like give them to people and stuff like that. That's nice too.
No, I will say I do have... there's this pretty neat product. Oh, goodness. I always forget the name of it. It is not Lightroom. I can't remember the name of it, but it is this photo frame that it's sort of like a digital photo frame that you're used to, where you can put photos on it and then have them display. But that process is a little bit complicated, and it requires you to be there in person. It usually it has an SD card or a USB drive or something like that. This photo frame, it's called Skylight. This photo frame will let you set up an email address that is specific to that photo frame. And then anyone who has that email address can send photos to that email address. And then the admin, which in this case is me, can go in and approve photos being sent from that specific email address. So
nice.
I got my mom a skylight frame, or rather I gave my mom a skylight frame and set up an email address that all of her children have. And so me from California, my brother from Florida, and then my two siblings who live in Missouri not Kansas, with my mom, we can all send photos at any time to that email address and constantly keep her updated with new photos of us. And I think that's so fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so she's always getting new photos and seeing them pop up. And I quite like that idea too. I want to get one for myself to then share with friends and family to say, hey, you can send photos to me too that can,
nice,
go on my wall.
That's a good alternative if you don't want to use a Google account, because I think that's one of the major things with services. Like I always see Renee Ritchie, he's like, yeah, I tried this out, and then they asked me if I wanted to share all of my browsing data, and I said no, and now I can't use it anymore.
Yeah.
So
you kind of have it's sort of one or the other option, huh?
You're not training the algorithm with these.
Yeah.
But cool. I mean, I still think it's pretty nice. Like, I think the automatic serendipity and just it's taking advantage of your technology in a way that you wouldn't have otherwise. So I'm all for that.
Agreed. I think it's great. Let's see what's next.
Apple Arcade.
Apple Arcade. So it's funny, you mentioned this earlier and kind of said, I haven't really been using Apple Arcade. And so
I haven't even used I've played one single game and then I stopped. But I have good reason. So
what's your good reason?
I want to turn it into content. I have to monetize everything that I do in my life.
Oh, that's right. Monetize your morning coffee.
I was totally like, I wanted to do a thing where it was like, here, I just got that. Because yes, I'm going to tell you about that later. But I wanted to like do a stream of just like, I play video games pretty regularly. And so I wanted to be like, here's the impressions of like somebody who's never tried it out before, just playing it for the first time, and just kind of like what I thought. And then I just didn't do it. And then I got behind and I was like, oh, now it's not timely. But I'm actually going to be live streaming something separate right after this episode. So I'm probably going to be doing the Apple Arcade stuff here soon.
Are you cheating on me?
I'm not. That implies many other things, but I will be hanging with my friend Alec Polianis.
Okay, very well. We'll talk about this after the show.
Drama. Oh, I love the pan. Oh my, the zoom. Dear God.
So I have been using. This is the thing that's weird, is that I'm not in the slightest a gamer at all. But I have used a few Apple Arcade games that have been fun. One of Leo's favorites is Pinball Wizard. And in it,
I saw that.
Oh, you've seen that one? That one's a lot of fun.
I was like going through and making a list of the ones I want to play.
You definitely want to try that one. The other one that you want to try is, phooey. Let me see if I can't pull it up here. That's in the App Store, isn't it? App Store. It's one where it's Lego. And I think it's called Lego Explorers. I'm so sorry. You're so right. So Kevin is right and I am wrong. And I will, get him a cookie without any nuts in it. Lego Builder's Journey is the name of the game. And it is a very beautiful Lego game that's sort of a story, sort of an explorer. You get to explore the environment, and it's a puzzle game. I think if you liked the little person that
Monument Valley, right? It looks like that, right?
Yes, it looks like Monument Valley. I just love that you knew what I was talking about.
Well, I saw the screenshot.
No. You knew from my hand signals, Matthew, because we got something here. The one that's like Monument Valley. If you liked Monument Valley, then I think that you would like Lego Builder's Journey.
I think that's why maybe it will just turn into a video, but I am sort of interested because I am an Xbox gamer. So in some ways, it's like if I'm going to play games, I want to play on my TV with the speaker system and everything. And I'm less of a casual game player, I'd say. So I'm just interested in what this offers because it does seem a little bit simpler than some of the other games, and I'm curious how it holds up. I really wanted to see Apex Legends on iPad, and it did not come, so that was disappointing.
I just had this thought of like you go to the doctor, and the doctor says, Matthew, you need to start eating 7 apples a day. And you say, well, doctor, I'm going to do that, but I want to make a video on it. So it's going to be a few months before I start doing that. You have that excuse now for
anything. No idea what you're talking about. That's not like me at all.
Oh, man. How many products in your office?
I have a bunch back here that I need to unbox still, but it's okay. Great work takes time.
This is true. And beauty is pain. The 2 universal truths.
I was telling Ant on Twit when I met with him at CES that I have to do my hair before I make videos because of the way I style my hair. And being a bald man, he was laughing at me a lot.
He's like, I don't have that problem. That's great. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our little project segment here. I'm bringing up Hoobs again. So Hoobs is Homebridge Homebridge out of the box service. I always forget. Hoobs.org, HOOBS.org. Hoobs 3?
Did they just come out with another one?
I already have Hoobs. I don't need another. Ooh, upgrade to Hoobs 3. No, wait, I think I have a Hoobs 3 already. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, they rolled out a new version of the software. I got Hoobs. This is, again, Homebridge out-of-the-box service. For folks who are wondering what in the world we're talking about here, when Apple first announced HomeKit, which was the technology that was sort of meant to bridge all of your smart home devices for folks who use iOS, there were a lot of devices that were not HomeKit enabled. There are a lot of rules and security requirements and things like that. There's still just as many security requirements, but things have gotten easier and more companies are making devices. And so there are more HomeKit-enabled devices. But there are still some that aren't or that require certain hardware in order to add HomeKit functionality. And so for those of us who use this framework, we need a way to be able to access some devices that exist outside of the HomeKit functionality. So you can use a Raspberry Pi or a server on a Mac that you always have on or something like that to run Homebridge. I personally used a Raspberry Pi for a while as my Homebridge thing, or you can do like what Matthew did here, where you can buy.
Was that upside down?
It was, yeah. Where you can buy Hoobs, which is the Homebridge out-of-the-box service that provides the actual. It's a little box that has everything that you need to create your own little Homebridge server. I was part of the quote for hobbyists area where you can get it on a little SD card, and you can see there's quite the price difference between the two. And if you can't see, if you're listening to this, the SD is $20 just about, and the Hoobs in a box is $199.
I think it must have gone up because I don't remember paying that much money for that.
Or
maybe it was a Black Friday sale.
I think it was a Black Friday sale, yeah. Okay. And so I was able to just slot that into my Raspberry Pi and get it kicked off. And I talked about it at the time because it had come in the mail and I wanted to talk about the service. But now I had a device that I wanted to use with my HomeKit service that was not HomeKit enabled on its own. I have a Chamberlain MyQ garage door opener, and it is a universal garage door opener, and it was the case that I could use the universal garage door opener within the MyQ app to open and close my door. Mostly it is because I get a little neurotic about my garage door, and I'm always going, did I remember to close that? I don't think I remember to close that. And so I just needed to have that peace of mind to know that I had closed it. And it was a Black Friday deal, so I snagged that for very little money. Nice. But the problem was it was not HomeKit enabled. You have to buy a separate device that Chamberlain has since come out with that offers that ability. But that bridge is like $100 all on its own. Not something I was interested in spending a bunch of money on. Well, I already got the Hoobs thing, so I looked, and there was a plug-in for the Chamberlain garage door opener. So I installed it. I popped in the proper information that it needed, and now I can use Siri to open and close my garage door, and I can set it up with automations within my home app and things like that. So
shortcuts. Never forget, Mikah.
See, here's the thing is that I'm actually wearing this wrist device that if I don't say shortcuts when Matthew thinks I need to, it zaps me. So he has the power to press that button at any time, and he was just being nice there. I should get you one of those. He was being nice there by warning me that I had not said shortcuts yet. No, but I think this is fun because, particularly if, for example, your partner, if you don't live with them and you want to give them access to your home in a modern world. So I was able to invite them to my HomeKit, and then they were able to also just use the app to open and close my garage door.
That is good.
Yeah. And control all the lighting, of course, because I've got so much stinking smart lighting in the house. So yeah, it's all encompassing. It's all good there. And it was just a little mention there for my project because it genuinely was so simple to use. In fact, if you decide to use Hoobs, if you're not making a video unboxing of it, and so you've actually plugged it into your network and are using it, if you decide to use it, Hoobs makes it super, super simple to find the plugins that you need to pop in the right information. And it's just one of those, like, you have that moment where you're like, where were these back in my day? Back when I was setting
What did people used to do before they had Hoobs?
Yes. Back when I was setting up my own Node.js server with my own Homebridge running on there. And I had my own Homebridge instance running on my Node.js server. And I had to go into the README files and make those changes by hand. Now it's all set up for me. It's so clever, these kids. Yeah, quite like it.
Oh, no, I'm sad. You asked Google to remember to remind you how to use
Loretta. Remember, Loretta was the one who set up my Homebridge server in the first place. I love you, Loretta.
If any listeners have Homebridge or anything like this, or they have a product that doesn't work with HomeKit that they wish, please let us know, because I'm interested. I think one of my problems is that I think all my stuff works with HomeKit. So like I have a couple of things that I want to set up. I'm looking at like the Sonos plugins, and they say there's a Google Home one. So I don't exactly know what that means, but I'm interested. I have it here. This will not leave my desk until that will be coming soon, I swear.
Okay.
Live streaming is my reason. It's like I can do it live. I don't have to edit it afterwards. So
before or after you start eating 7 apples a day?
I've got. You remind me to buy 7 apples. And yes, I'm sorry, I ruined it for everybody.
Oh yeah. We actually
now they'll all have a bunch of apples.
I meant to talk to Kevin about this. I want to do what's that game? Where it throws up an X. Is that
like
Family Feud? Family Feud. So I want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to do a graphic and a sound even where it's an X that pops up, and you get 3 strikes, Matthew.
And then I'm off the podcast.
And then
forever.
no, and then I will ship you a envelope full of glitter, and it will you won't know it. You won't know it because it'll come from a random address. So you'll open it up, and there'll be glitter everywhere. So yeah,
I'm just any package I get now, I'm gonna be like, oh god.
You're good for now. We haven't gotten to the 3 X's yet, but yeah, I meant to speak to Kevin about that for the Family Feud X's for the future. But these will be for the assistant feud, I guess. I don't know what to call it. Kevin's sighing. Maybe that's going to be difficult. Let's go ahead and move on to our picks of the week. Matthew, we'll start with you.
Cool. So my pick of the week is a little hardware product that I got for streaming purposes, but now I've been experimenting with other stuff. Yes, this has been unboxed for like 9 months, so I've actually been using it, but of course not nearly as much as I should. It's a Stream Deck, and I think it's 15 keys. Can I count? Yeah. So Stream Deck lets you have just like physical triggers for stuff that you do on your computer, but then you can also hook it into, I think they have a Philips Hue plugin directly, and services like Keyboard Maestro and all that you can do Mac automation with. And so I've been messing around with it I have one that like turns on these lights when I'm ready to start recording the show and stuff like that. So yeah, Stream Decks are great. They have multiple different sizes. I think they even have one for people who have multiple Stream Decks, so you can have a third to switch in between your Stream Decks or something like that. It's absurd, but there's tons of automation opportunities with this, and I'm going to be talking about some of those in future projects.
Excellent. So I know that Leo has a Stream Deck in his office, and nice. I think he uses it whenever he's doing his show. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that he uses it for that. I don't have a reason for one, but I think they're so cool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm surprised more Mac nerds haven't gotten them, because you can like have a profile for podcasting, and I can tap one button and it'll bring up the show doc that we're going through and Skype and stuff like that. So it's pretty slick, and just having like the physical buttons are nice. I personally use it for while I'm streaming. I can change camera angles and like set up different stuff in real time. So I don't need a whole crew of people. But clearly one of the benefits of having a crew of people is you have more time to figure that stuff out and actually put it into practice on your podcast network, for example.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I know my little brother uses one for his streaming. He does 2 weeks, fortnight streaming. And he switches between different things using that device.
For anyone who's like super deep into the Siri shortcuts world and automation stuff, a lot of the URL schemes that were previously what people used to do automation on iOS, those work on the Mac. So I have a link that says open into things to my today view with a certain tag. And that's in my Stream Deck, so I can just tap one button and it'll be like, I'm only showing your work tasks that are due today and stuff like that. So it's really powerful.
Wow. See, yeah, so it's not just for the young streamers out there, young streamers of the world. It can be for anyone who wants to improve upon their automation. The 15-key Elgato Stream Deck runs $129.97, so about $130.
Yeah, and it's cross-platform and everything. It's probably actually better on Windows than it is on... I mean, you don't have the Keyboard Maestro automation tools, but they hook into a lot more native stuff that, especially like a lot of Windows streaming services do that. But yeah, it's totally not just for streaming, but they know their target market right now, at least.
Absolutely. Elgato, in fact, makes a lot of really cool gaming stuff. I think do you have one of their light panels, one of their LED light panels?
No, I wish I did. I have the cheapo version.
Oh, gotcha.
That is like the my own version. But that kind of stuff you can have where then you can press a button on the Stream Deck and it'll turn the lights down and change colors and all that. So it's pretty slick.
Sweet.
What is your pick?
My pick of the week is Mophie's new product. This is called the Power Station Go. This is a behemoth of a device.
Oh my God.
It's a behemoth in power, but not a behemoth in size, and that's why this rocks. So this bad boy can fit into like a glove compartment, and it can jumpstart your dadgum car. So not only can it jumpstart a car, it can jumpstart an SUV. It has jumper cables included, and you slide it into your glove compartment, or maybe into, you drop it into that organization thing you have set up in your trunk. The top of the device is a Qi charger, so you can just plop down a phone or something else that's Qi charging capable on the top if you want to. So I kind of think of, I'm in the car, I'm driving, I've got Mophie's dash-mounted wireless charger that I use. That's charging my phone. But what if my passenger or somebody in my back seat, which don't get back there. This is a 2-door vehicle, people. Come on. But if for some reason somebody wants to cram themselves into my back seat, and their phone's about to die, I can hand this over to them. And yes, it's a brick, but they can put their phone on top of it and charge it while it's there. It's also got 2 USB, normal size USB-A ports, and you can plug in a normal AC plug and charge a laptop, anything that you want to plug into there. So they say,
it's just like
a laptop charger, like an average in the wall charger kind of thing. It's called, it says 65 watt AC port. So yeah, you could charge, you plug in your MacBook Pro's laptop dealie, and then you can plug it in there. But yeah, it's a jump starter for your car, wireless charger. You can charge multiple devices at once from it. And then you can also plug something in and charge it that way too. Very, very cool. Looks like it's currently out of stock on Mophie's site. But I think this product is fabulous.
That's a solid road trip product for sure. Ooh, they have a camo version.
They
even
do.
Better.
So there's a black one, a blue one, a gold one, a rose gold one, a camo version, which I can't see for some reason. It's not showing up on my screen. Get it?
That actually was like, what?
Yeah, it's because it's camo. And then a blue purple one, which is the one that I was gonna had to get, obviously.
That's like Smart Tech Today.
Smart Tech Today's colors, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I should get one for free from them, but
yeah, Mophie, hit him up. So this is a bit pricey. It's $159.95, $160.
Yeah.
But let me remind you, it jumpstarts your dadgum car.
Yeah. That's like
you've got
one mechanic.
Yeah, you've got not having to go to somebody and say, I've got jumper cables. Can I please use your battery to jumpstart my car? Or do you have jumper cables? I don't have jumper cables, which please just get jumper cables or get this. Super fantastic product. And then the fact that, like I said, it does all sorts of multi-device charging. So yeah, if you're going on a road trip or something like that, then you can charge from those as well, and then plug something in too if you want to. This is like a mobile power bank masterpiece. Good job, Mophie, for making something so compact but also so powerful. The Mophie
I don't
Power
totally
Station
get.
Go.
I don't totally get the Qi charger on the top. You were saying the second passenger. It's like,
I will say that part is a little bit of a. I will be honest. I think it was just like, hey, why not kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. I was just shrugging. It's like
instead of why not both, it's like why not also that, because it already does 3 other things. So yeah, I think it's just like, well, a lot of phones charge via, and then I guess I could charge my AirPods on it if I wanted to. Although it might blast them into space. It's like ultimate power.
Nice. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a unique thing that I haven't really seen anything like this before.
Agreed. And I wouldn't be surprised.
Dang it, you beat me. No.
I wouldn't be surprised too if we start to see more devices that have Qi charging built in. So bigger devices having the output that this can provide would be good.
Yeah.
Jumping the shark in the chat said, just carry a portable nuclear reactor. And Dale Poco says it powers the ejection seat. That is also true. I haven't hooked up to my ejector seat.
Lasts? Like it says it's 44,400 milliamp watt hours.
Yeah, see, I'm not going to. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention that it also has an LED floodlight in it, so that if you're having to jump your car at night, you can see
nice.
With the LED floodlight. But to answer your question, I'm not going to answer your question because I don't do.
It all depends.
I don't do electronic conversion mathematics.
I mean, I know that generally I go by smartphones, but Android phones have larger batteries, but get the same as iPhones. So it kind of depends on the software. Yeah. I can make a shortcut for that probably.
Oh God, let's save it for after the show. My energy is... No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so that's Smart Tech Today, folks. If you have thoughts, questions, concerns, video feedback, any of that kind of stuff, you can email us. STT, it's so simple. It's stt@twit.tv. It even rhymes, sort of. We record the show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 p.m. Pacific, which is 2300 UTC. So you can head over to twit.tv/live. That's where you go to see the live stream of the show. Or head to twit.tv/STT, as Kevin is showing, which has links to all the different ways you can subscribe to the show. It's time for Twit's annual audience survey, and we want to hear from you. Now, it only is going to take you about 5 minutes. Folks often ask us, hey, how can I help out outside of heading to those links that are included at the bottom of the sponsor reads? Well, this is the big way that you can help us out. We know you love listening to our content, and we do need your assistance here. So visit twit.to/survey20 and let us know what you think. There's no sign-up form. We're not going to track you, but your feedback helps us make Twit even better. Thanks so much for your continued support. That's twit.to/survey20. Matthew Cassinelli, if people want to check out the awesome work you're doing online and see all those videos you've promised us, where do they go?
They can go to SiriShortcuts.net, which I bought during Apple's keynote last year and now redirects to my personal website. So we'll see how long I actually own that for. But
if Apple gives you lots of money for it. How fun. It redirected. It works. Yeah, awesome. And I know you're going to be providing lots of shortcuts tips for some of the folks here in the Twit studio. I saw Lisa and Ant are curious about your automation prowess. So that should be fun. If you want to follow me online, you can follow me on pretty much every social media thing, including the new Byte, at Mikah Sargent, or head to chihuahua.coffee. That's CHIHUA.coffee, which it is a redirect. Folks have said, you should tell it's a redirect. It redirects to a page on my website, but chihuahua.coffee gets you there, so who cares? For links to all the different stuff that I do. That is going to do it for us, folks. It's time to say goodnight to your smart assistants.
Good night, everyone. Talk to you next week.
Good night.